In the world of Mobius, Sonic, accompanied with its allies, the Freedom Fighters, help protect various regions of their world from Dr. Robotnik and his Dark Egg Legion. There have been many adventures, many ups and downs, but nothing compares to how low things are about to get.
Come on, let the fuse, he's a rocket and he's ready to go. Cause now the countdown has started and he's ready to blow. He's got the dope sounds bumping and his stereo. Yo, that's fast, putting on a show. Don't wanna get yourself together, there's no time to rest. And if you put the time in, he'll put you to the test. He's like a running man, in his world war is less. And if you wanna test him best, bring your best. Don't make me spell it out, bring your best.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Archie Sonic Explained, and this will be the final video regarding the Ian Flynn golden age of pre-boot Archie Sonic, or at least the first half. Apologies for the major delay on this video, but before we jump into what might be the longest video yet, I want to lay out how I'm going to structure the story. I'm going to speed read some of the issues that prelude this arc, just so that when we jump into the meat and potatoes, the main plot isn't interrupted. Which means we'll be going by an improvised reading order, and I hope you guys enjoy this. With all that said, I know you guys have been waiting a while for this video, so let's get right into it. Yeah! Let's do some rapid fire reading. Issues 213 and 214 cover some beef between the Canon country and the Feline country over the disappearance of a relic shared between both cultures, the ancient Onyx. Sonic, Big, and Sally investigate, which ends up leading Sally to get captured by Drago Wolf, a former member of the Destructics if you recall, and his cohorts in the Dark Egg Legion. Sonic is caught in the middle of a dispute between the cats and dogs and deduces that the Onyx is being hidden in some forbidden echidna ruins nearby, and rescues Sally, saving the day. We're also introduced to Lyko and Lita, the Wolfpack twins. Keep these sisters in mind, they'll come up next video. 215 and 216 covers Sonic joining up with the Arctic Freedom Fighters after getting a distress signal from an area where Rotor's family lives. In secret, Rotor has Nicole build him a power suit that'll allow him to fight again. As he rushes to his family, he's ambushed by Silver, who believes that the traitor to the Freedom Fighters is Rotor, instead of Sonic this time. Rotor convinces Silver to help him save his family, and the two of them, along with Sonic and the Arctic Freedom Fighters, take down a mind control tower stationed in the area. 217 and 218 cover Sonic and Bunny being sent on a mission to help the Sandblast Freedom Fighters, but they end up getting split up. Sonic meets with the shady Sandblasters, who need his help taking over the Oil Ocean from an Egg Legion chapter, and Bunny ends up with her uncle who is running the Dark Egg Legion chapter that is safeguarding the Oil Ocean by order of Eggman, who will punish them otherwise. Eventually, Sonic and Bunny clash in the Oil Ocean, but compromise, realizing that neither side will face consequences if they themselves destroy the Oil Ocean. The Legion and the Sandblasters wise up to this though and try to stop them, but our heroes burn it down in flames, much to the chagrin of Bunny's uncle. Later on, Eggman comes down hard on Snively, telling him to denounce his love for Regina. Sonic Universe issue 21 through 24 covers Blaze teaming up with Amy and Cream to find the Soul Emeralds. It gets crazy because Team Dark is on a mission to collect them too, and so are the Hooligan Trio and the Babylon Rogues. It's just team battle shenanigans reminiscent of Sonic Heroes. The most notable thing about this story here is how Shadow's morality is tested. Sure, he made a promise to prioritize his world, but does his mission outweigh the potential deterioration of Blaze's if she's not permitted to bring them home? I mean, if you remember, she's even the reason Shadow was able to return home back in Sonic Universe 1. While reluctant throughout the course of the story, his empathy wins as he tells Rouge to hand over the Soul Emerald to Blaze. I wanted to bring attention to this because sometimes on Twitter I'll see people use Archie panels out of context to dismantle the good writing done in the comic. I saw someone post something like, Archie's Shadow is bad because he was gonna let Blaze's world be destroyed after she helped him, dismissing the fact that his reluctance stems from being tunnel visioned on his missions, and that at the end of the day, he did the right thing. Universe 25 through 28 covers Silver entering an alternate future where Enerjack won. The future freedom fighters in their world fight against prelates, which are manifestations of fallen freedom fighters. Tensions rise, and soon Silver finds himself face to face with Enerjack. Even with all of his power, Silver struggles, but ends up realizing how to defeat him. And when he's down, Lara Sue absorbs the power and becomes the new Enerjack, promising to use her newfound power to restore her future.
And if you don't know, now you know.
Well, forget that!
I'm taking back the crown. I'm all dressed up and naked. I see what's not and taken.
Oh, hell baby!
And finally, Sonic Universe 29 through 32 covers Scourge's escape from the Zone Jail. It's definitely the most entertaining of the bunch. Scourge's strength has been sealed away by a prison collar, so he's unable to do anything until Fiona and the Destructics get themselves arrested just to break them out. Jail shenanigans ensue, and the next thing you know, they've escaped, with Scourge vowing to get his revenge. I don't know if this is in a butt here though and say that this plot thread never had a chance to resolve itself, so this is the last time we'll see him in this story. Alright, now that we got the small potatoes out of the way, let's take a gander at the final saga of pre-Genesis Wave Archie, the Mecha Sally arc.
You just want attention, you know I'm not yours. Baby, you just hate the thought of me with someone new. Yeah, you just want attention.
Former King Maximilian has sent St. John and Sonic to go on a mission to retrieve an emerald from the Special Zone. Meanwhile, Mina is dealing with harsh nightmares of Iron Nicole's reign, and Ash is Ash. Sonic does Vice's challenge in the Special Zone to earn the emerald, but is stun gunned by Jeffrey, kicked into the void below, and left stranded. Jeffrey leaves the Freedom Fighter's base, passes the kingdom, and heads straight towards Mogul's casino, where he reveals that his plan is to use the Chaos Emerald to restore Naugus, so that he can overthrow the current monarchy. Jeffrey convinces Mogul to allow him to go through with his plan by reminding him that Naugus, in his prime even, couldn't best Mogul's arcane power, so he wouldn't even be a threat, promising Mogul that the upheaval would bring more customers to his doorstep while also making Sonic miserable. That last part is what sold Mogul on the idea, and with the power of the emerald, Mogul allows Naugus to be restored. Soon, he berates Jeffrey about being useless in all the time leading up till now. Mogul brings attention to the fact that Jeffrey restored him and reminds St. John to make good on his word. Naugus begins to leave, stating that Sonic needs to be dealt with, and after Jeffrey tells them that he shot him in the back, they both laugh their heads off. Eventually, Sonic gets Feist to help him get out of the Special Zone. He has some choice words for our panda friend as well. Sonic informs the council about the whole ordeal, but they choose to bide their time until St. John reappears. Mina's band go over a new song she's been writing, inspired by the nightmares of Nicole she's been having, and while they feel it's a little bit too political for their brand, she manages to get them on board to perform it. The side story at the end of this chapter sees Eggman nursing back Leenda to full health. Oh god, why is she back? We find Sonic and Sally enjoying one another's company while at Mina's concert, and with Sonic reassuring Sally, you can really see why these two have chemistry. Nicole joins them, rocking a new fit, hoping to hide herself from the public eye due to recent events. Sonic tells the ladies not to worry and just enjoy the show. Meanwhile, Jeffrey and Naugus looms overhead, stating that he can sense the fear in the air. The Forget-Me-Nots prepare in their bedroom, hit the stage, and gives one hell of a performance.
I won't be afraid to save myself. I won't be afraid to save myself.
The lyrics to Mina's songs are striking, powerful, and resonant, filled with the kind of frustration and fear that Naugus mentioned before, and it all points to one person, Nicole. Mina feels on top of the world as if she's conquered her feels, but the only look Sonic and Sally can give her is concern. Soon after, we find Ash and Mina making their way back to the trailer to find Sonic and Sally waiting for them. Sonic assumes that Ash is responsible for the baggage coming from Mina's new song, but she corrects Sonic, telling him that these are all her own feelings. Sally chimes in, reminding Mina that she is an icon and that she should be more careful with her messages, trying to tell her that she'll have to take responsibility if they lead to something reckless. There's a common writing technique in fiction called dramatic irony. Most of you are already familiar, but basically it's a scenario when the audience knows more than the characters. We know that Sonic and Sally did their best. We understood the situation and saw them waste no time in dismantling the Iron Dominion. But in this case, the opposite is also interesting. You see, we didn't see all of the days that Regina terrorized the Acorn Kingdom. We do not have Mina's perspective. But from what we know, Sally asked Nicole to comply with Regina until they came back, meaning that Mina's current outrage about being left in the dark and her frustration with not feeling safe for days in her own home isn't just something that she feels. She speaks for the entire kingdom, and she knows that. Sally, has let them down. But Nicole didn't, Sally tries to get across. Sally reveals that Nicole was in full control the entire time, watched as her friends fought for their lives, and did what she could to play both sides to protect everyone. Sonic and Sally leave to search for Nicole. This is me going off script, so as much as they tried to frame Sally in the right here, literally none of the civilians were told after the fact that Nicole was helping. They were all still left in the dark after the Iron Queen had already been dealt with. So really, this is Sonic and Sally's fault, and especially Sally's for not announcing to their kingdom that Nicole was never a danger to them in the first place. Elsewhere, we find Nicole weeping near a city's science center. Dimitri, who was rescued by Sonic and Tails earlier, and as well as Espio, who saw Nicole running from the concert, are both present. While both Espio and Dimitri do look to comfort Nicole, Espio questions why the hell Dimitri is even there. After a brief conversation, they all agree that the best course of action is to be open with Knuckles about Dimitri being in the kingdom. The next day, Sonic and Sally go on a date. Prior to that though, we find Sonic and Tails playing Capture the Flag, and Sally checks in with Khan in the Dragon Kingdom. Eventually, both of them go home, prepare, and go out to dinner. Mina and Ash are also there. Sonic and Sally don't mind, but their waiter sparks conversation about Nicole, which leads to the civilians arguing whether or not she's a freedom fighter or a threat. Ash and Mina leave, and Sonic and Sally try to follow suit, but are berated by the civilians. Amy puts her hammer down, telling the customers to let Sonic enjoy his night. I've heard criticism of this panel, of her saying that Sonic will be hers someday, but for now she wants him to be happy, as her being some sort of delusional weirdo. First off, rude. Secondly, I enjoy this moment as a subtle bit of development. Here's how I see it. She firstly said that Sonic will be hers, but then said that she just wants him to be happy. That first part was a well-established desire, and that second part was a compromise, an invitation to change, growth, or at least that's how I see it. Sonic and Sally finally get some time alone together, and this is remarkable because since the beginning of my review, we've never had a chance for Sonic and Sally to fully hang out, uninterrupted, while being vulnerable with one another. Throughout all the battles, through all the debates, they've had each other's backs, and they know it. St. John spies on them from afar, while Naugus announces to Jeffrey that the throne will be his by tomorrow. That night, or perhaps the night prior, it's not entirely clear if this happened the same night or the date night, but whatever. Anyways, Espio and Nicole approach Knuckles saying that they need to be honest with him. Relax, he says. It can't be that bad. Him? Knuckles shouts. I can't blame Knuckles for not wanting to have anything to do with Dimitri, but he calms down and lets him speak his piece. Dimitri apologizes about their history and admits he was wrong about everything he's done since the whole thing started. Which flabbergasted me, because accountability in the Echidna tribe? It's a very rare sight, because these guys have been top class a-holes since forever. So this is good. Great, even for Knuckles to hear. But he's not entirely sold on it. How did you wind up here? He asks. Dimitri tells him that Sonic and Tails rescued him, and tells him also what happened internally with the Dark Egg Legion. Knuckles tells Dimitri that he's going up to Angel Island in order to clean up the mess that he's made, and thanks Nicole and Espio for filling him in. That went pretty well. Side note, Sonic and Tails aren't part of the Chaotix, so they weren't present for that be honest with each other campfire talk that they've had with Espio, so I guess it makes sense that Knuckles isn't mad at them.